Charlie Brown's Talkin' Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And Beautyo Books, an independent family-owned bookstore carrying one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. BeautyOBooks.com.
Good morning. Welcome to our show number 876. Once again, our thoughts are with the brave people of Ukraine as they continue their struggle and their suffering through the horrors of the war. They're also with the millions of Russian people who oppose the war, even those who have been prevented from really even knowing about it or much about it. Well, don't look now, but as we begin our show live on the 20th of March, it's World Sparrow Day. We were excited about this until we realized the day is focused on the house sparrow, Passer domesticus, which is not the favorite bird of all that many people that we know of, at least not on this side of the Atlantic. But who are we to keep it a secret? Here's the website address about it, worldsparrowday.org. We'll talk with Mike O'Connor more about it later. From our We Thought We Knew the Answer to This department comes this question. Why do starlings conduct those spectacular murmurations, making those big swooping formations in the air, creating those swirling patterns in the sky? Well, the conventional wisdom has been, I think still mostly is, that they do it to confuse predators who apparently just can't figure out how to snatch a single bird from one of those swirling flocks. But now some biologists suggest the birds may also be trying to create a way to invite other starlings to follow them to a roosting area, with the idea that, as in the murmuration, the more birds there are, the greater the odds against any individual falling victim to an attacker. And also more birds means more warmth as they share their body heat. As for what we can learn from watching these starling murmurations, scientists say they could reveal secrets that could be used to design intelligent swarms of robots. Thanks to super contributor Jeff Collins for alerting us to this research. And by the way, Jeff has posted a link to a video about it in the Talkin' Birds flock. That's the Facebook group for Talkin' Birds listeners. Meanwhile, is there really a bird named after a Buick? Well, yes, sort of, and it's among those that a friend of the show has been watching in her Southern California backyard. And here's her audio postcard about it.
Hi everyone, this is Haley from San Diego, and that is a Buick's wren. I'm out at my local lake. It's a beautiful day, feels like spring, and this little Buick's wren is being very vocal. I'm also watching some blue-gray gnatcatchers hopping around from bush to bush. Happy birding.
Thank you so much, Haley. That's our second audio postcard from San Diego, I think, two in a row. The other one from our Freya McGregor, who's always hopscotching around the country. The Buick's wren, by the way, is named after British engraver Thomas Buick, B-E-W-I-C-K, who collected the first recognized specimen somewhere around 1820. Buick was a friend of the legendary bird artist John James Audubon. Pretty safe to say he did not chase the bird in a Buick or any other kind of car. That's our mystery bird. He's making sure you heard him there. This is a preview of our mystery bird contest coming along a bit later on in the show. We want to get you ready for it, so we'll give the signal a little bit later to call in and have a chance to win a $15 gift certificate to Beautyo Books, home of one of the largest selections of birding books in the world, and a month's supply of Mary's Gone Crackers Super Seed Crackers, 4 big boxes, and maybe a bonus prize from Wisdom Supply if we get to our bonus question. Our mystery bird is gray all over, more or less, but with black wings and tail, white patches on the tail, and a long pointed bill. It's a large songbird found in the high mountain regions of the American West, where it feeds on large pine seeds. It's known, like its relatives, for being highly intelligent. You're welcome, and possessed of an amazing ability to remember where it has stored those seeds for later retrieval. Prizes, sound, and clues there for Mystery Bird contest coming up a little bit later. Here's a salute to some more of the royalty of the Talking Birds listening audience, our ambassadors who let us send them some of our little info cards that they hand out to friends and neighbors, and would-be and new birders and existing birders. Our ambassadors include Larry Ray from right down the road here in Scituate, Massachusetts. Thank you so much, Larry. And thank you to Paulo M. from New York City. He says, my dad and I like to listen on road trips. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Paulo. And thank you to Lissa from Cornish Flat, New Hampshire. Lissa also happens to be a brilliantly talented artist, and we'll be talking more about her in the near future. And thank you, Lissa, for becoming a Talking Birds ambassador. It's so easy to do and means a lot to us to help spread the word about the show and about birds and conservation. You can join up very easily. Just go to the what is it there? It's the Get Involved tab is what it is, right there at talkingbirds.com, the Get Involved tab. Still to come on our show today, we'll pay a visit to the Talking Birds Science Corner with our very own Debbie Bleacher. Plus, we'll make a Cape Cod connection with Birdwatchers General Store's Mike O'Connor in a Let's Ask Mike live segment about that World Sparrow Day thing and what it means to him. And up next, a bird that was extinct until it wasn't is today's featured feathered friend, presented by Birdwatching Magazine. For more than a quarter century, Birdwatching has been North America's premier magazine about wild birds and birding. Many years ago, today's oceanic featured feathered friend disappeared, never to be seen again, until 1963. That's when the black-capped petrel was rediscovered in the high mountains of Hispaniola, the island of the countries of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. This large petrel has white underparts, a brownish-black back and wings, a black cap, and in most individuals, a brown collar. In addition to Hispaniola, the black-capped petrel may nest on other Caribbean islands too, possibly including Dominica, Cuba, and Jamaica. Like other seabirds, it spends most of its life on the water, from the Caribbean to the Gulf of Mexico, and the Atlantic Ocean from northeastern Brazil to the eastern U.S., coming to land only to breed and traveling to and from its high mountain nest burrows under the cover of night. The black-capped petrel often ranges hundreds of miles from its burrow for its nocturnal foragings over the warm waters of the Gulf Stream, plucking squid, fish, and other sea creatures from the ocean's surface. The black-capped petrel is listed as endangered by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. Its challenges include introduced predators and habitat loss from forest fires and development on land and oil spills at sea. It's getting some help from initiatives like the American Bird Conservancy's Marine Program, which works with partners to mitigate threats and protect the birds' breeding areas. Long believed to be extinct, and now fighting for survival, it's today's featured feathered friend, Pterodroma hasitata, the black-capped petrel. Welcome again to our show. It's number 876. We'd like to invite you to visit our website. We like it and hope you might too. That would be talkingbirds.com. And always the reminder that there is no G in talking, at least in this case, talkingbirds.com. Well, science is always marching forward, and that certainly includes the world of birds. And we're about to learn about another such advance with our Debbie Bleacher in the Talking Birds Science Corner.
Come up to the lab. and see what's on the slab.
I think she's there. Good morning, Debbie.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
So, Debbie, we hear that there now exists a giant spreadsheet of measurements of every species of songbird all over the world. Fact check, true?
Oh, yeah, and I've got a lot of numbers for you to prove it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm ready.
All right, so get your numbers hat on. A team of researchers from all over the world has published anatomical measurements of all 11,009 living bird species. That's not just songbirds, that's all of them.
All bird species.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's called AVONET, AVONET, and it contains 11 physical traits like beak shape and wing length for 9,020 individual birds from 181 countries. Don't make me repeat that.
No, you have to repeat it because my note says 90,000 individual birds.
Oh, that's right. Yep, you're absolutely right. Sorry, 90,020 individual birds.
You thought I wasn't good with numbers, but obviously, yeah. So that is, as you say, though, that is an incredible lot of measurements there.
Yeah. So it started as huge projects often do, as the project of a grad student. Reminds me of my grad school days, but I was measuring Chinese syllables, not birds, believe it or not. But this student, Catherine Shared at Imperial College London, wanted to get a data set of all the passerines, that is, the perching birds. Her advisor, Dr. Joseph Tobias, must have thought she was nuts because that's about 6,000 species, right? But when she completed the work, Tobias thought he might as well continue the project. So anyway, AVONET is available to anyone. It was just published in a special issue of Ecology Letters as this giant spreadsheet. In fact, it's in 4 separate files. You can view them without downloading them, but I was curious, so I tried to download one of them, even though I thought it might make my computer explode in a cloud of feathers or something.
But it didn't. It didn't, right?
No, fortunately.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, if you didn't hear a boom over there, then I'm fine. But I got to tell you, before this, I'd never seen a spreadsheet with 1 million rows.
Is that a literal number? 1 million? 1 million rows? 1 million rows.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 million rows. I know. I thought it was like just my spreadsheet program just not even bothering. But no, it really is 1 million rows down at the bottom. Yeah.
So how did they make this?
By measuring lots and lots and lots of museum specimens. Now, remember that podcast extra I made you about Hog Island Audubon?
No. I mean, yes, no. Of course I do. Yes.
Okay. Well, you can find it in our archive, talkingbirds.com archive, and you search on Hog Island. So I learned how to make a museum specimen out of a dead bird. And the researchers for AVONET took a series of measurements on more than 90,000 specimens like mine at museums all over the world.
Wow. Okay. I got it so far, but why exactly are they doing this?
For fun. No. Because it is really, really useful. In fact, before AVONET was even finished, in 2020, that grad student, Catherine Shared, published an article about a correlation between wing anatomy and flying range. And that could help us understand how well certain species might adapt to habitat destruction or climate change. Another more recent study shows that bird species with more diversity of shapes, like specialized beaks, tend to have lower risks of extinction. I remember seeing that one go by. So in the future, AVONET measurements could, for instance, help us estimate the maximum size of fruit a species could eat and how far it might travel before excreting the seeds. And that could tell us about how those plants might spread. So there are there's so many uses for these data, and I'm kind of wondering why nobody thought of doing this before.
Yeah, well, maybe the climate change aspect kind of accelerated it a little bit, because that's obviously an essential one to know about.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
So, what about now? Any further plans in the future for this database?
So first of all, the researchers want to fill in missing data for, believe it or not, there is missing data in this huge thing. So they're missed about 100 species, and they want to add information from more individual exemplars of each species when they can find them. And they also want to add information about life history and behaviors of species. But something I think is really cool is that they also would like to create a community-driven aspect to the database, so people could contribute measurements from living birds. Because right now they're all from museum specimens. So, like when we banded birds at Hog Island, we took a bunch of measurements whenever the bird would let us, and the hope is that the researchers hope to get funding to allow people to upload data and have the website validated so that measurements from living birds could be added.
Mm-hmm. So this is another citizen science thing here going on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And that brings me to one more cool thing about this database I just want everyone to be aware of, is that publishing it makes museum specimens available to everyone in the world with an internet connection. So let's say, there's a grad student in a developing country who wants to know, about the wing shapes of birds that catch the most mosquitoes. And she can't hop a flight to a country with a good bird collection. But she could just use the internet connection at her university library to look it up. So it really democratizes all these good museum collections.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Avunet is what it's called, right? Avonet, Avunet. Fascinating stuff, Debbie. I guess that's why it's in the Science Corner.
That would do it, yep.
Thank you, Debbie.
Oh, you're welcome, Ray. My pleasure.
Our Debbie Bleacher there in the Talking Birds Science Corner. And what's coming up next here on our Science Corner? On our show. Well, that was the Science Corner, was it not? Coming up next would be our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. Here comes that bird again, just warning you here. Get ready for the screech. There it is. Our mystery bird, pretty much gray all over, but with black wings and tail, with white patches on the tail and a long pointed bill. It's a large songbird found in the high mountain regions of the American West, where it feeds on large pine seeds. It's known, as are its relatives, for being highly intelligent and possessed of an amazing ability to remember where it has stored those seeds for later retrieval. That's kind of what makes it famous. That's kind of its claim to fame, our mystery bird this morning. Here's an important note, by the way. If you're not hearing our show live today and would like to in the future so that you could enter our mystery bird contest, that's easy to do. Just go to talkingbirds.com and you'll see how to do it. Just click the listen button there and get all the info on that. Very easy to do. And our live broadcast, by the way, is on Sunday mornings from 9:30 to 10 Eastern time. And our prizes, if I didn't mention them this time, a $15 gift certificate to Buick Books, home of one of the largest selections of birding books in the world, and a month's supply of Mary's Gone Crackers, Super Seed Crackers, 4 big boxes of Mary's Gone Crackers. Bonus question awaits if we have time, and it looks like today we might. 781-837-4900 is the number, 781-837-4900. Meanwhile, more about World Sparrow Day with Mike O'Connor. It's Let's Ask Mike live in just 1 minute. Buick Books carries one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. New, used, and rare books covering everything from backyard birding to general ornithology, from field guides to photography skills, biography, fiction, and humor. You'll find it all, along with the knowledgeable customer service you've been looking for, in one convenient place. ButeoBooks.com. B-U-T-E-O. ButeoBooks.com.
My name is Melissa Hodges, and I'm calling in from Mobile, Alabama. I encourage everyone listening to become a Talking Birds ambassador, even the littlest of listeners out there. As a first grade teacher, I love spreading the joy of bird knowledge to my students, and they can then, in turn, spread them to all of their friends.
Talkin' Birds listeners, we hope you'll join our ambassadors family at talkinbirds.com. Join today, and thanks.
Let's check in now with the man whose favorite bird in the entire world is Passer domesticus, the house sparrow. That would be our Mike O'Connor down there at the Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Ray. I can't talk long today. I got to get to the parade.
Got to get to the big St. Patrick's Day parade. You going to the one up in Boston?
Yeah, I'm picking up Sully, Fitzy, and Murph. We're all going up.
All right. Don't forget to stop in the Fours for a couple of smart ones after the parade there. Oh, I think that place is not open anymore. Never mind.
It's not open anymore.
Yeah, Boston has a very big St. Patrick's Day parade. Kind of famous around Boston. Yeah.
No, I know it. And I've never been, but someday
this could be the year.
This could be the day.
This year they're doing it, I think, at a place called Castle Island, which is at the end of South Boston, which is a big birding place. So it might be a little challenging to do a lot of birding there today. I hope folks are ready for that.
A parade and birding, it's a winning combination. Green beer.
They go together perfectly.
Yeah, the more beer you drink, the more birds you see.
Actually, correct. Good point, yeah. But we're talking about a particular bird. It's World Sparrow Day, and we found out that...
Speaking of parades, the parade for World Sparrow Day is today. It's actually today, the 20th. Mm-hmm. This is a day that started actually in India about 11, 12 years ago. With a surprising thing is because some people there were upset with the decline of the house sparrow, which is a shocker to me. In this country, it's like having a natural toothache day. Nobody wants this, right? It's a thing that nobody really is in love with. The sparrows are an introduced species. They've been a problem. They've driven out bluebirds, native birds, purple martins, swallows. They're a big problem. And the population in this country alone is like 150 million. And these people are worried about the decline. So when you think about it, it's kind of stupid. But then when you think about it more, in these countries where it is native, they have declined.
Sure.
And if a sparrow, a house sparrow, a bird that, and you can find in any city living off French fries and cigarette butts is declining. Maybe it is an indication that things aren't going well. Mm-hmm. And in England, it's dropped by 60%. We used to call them, right? I think we used to call them English sparrows.
English sparrows, yeah.
Yeah, but
we call them other things too, but we can't mention that on the air here.
That's right. And so there they are declining, and it's kind of and like anything else, when bird numbers drop, people pay attention. And the reason I think some of the farms have disappeared, some of the smaller farms where the birds thrive, but also these birds are mostly seed eaters. They like to see it, so they'll dominate a feeder, especially in certain areas. But in this, like most birds in the spring, when they have their babies, they feed them insects. And these insects are getting harder and harder to find. So this is like the indicator bird. When a tough bird like the house sparrow is starting to drop, it's not a good sign for all the other things. So this World Sparrow Day is kind of pointing out that if the house sparrows are starting to drop, maybe we got to pay attention to all the other things. Then it's, it's all pointed to, I think, those pesticides that everybody likes to spray on everything all the time, which is not such a good thing.
Those were brought here, by the way, by a well-meaning gentleman, right, who thought they would kill a lot of the insects, except, as you mentioned, they don't really eat insects except at nesting
during the breeding season. Yeah, they thought there was two stories that I've heard. One was because the birds go to, back then in the 1800s, of course, the cities all had horse-drawn buggies going through, and the sparrows they thought would eat the manure, the horse manure, when they really thought that, let's get rid of the manure, we'll get some birds. Well, they didn't eat the manure, they just ate the seeds that were in the manure and then spread the seeds more. And then also it was thought that they would eat some of the insects that were a problem at the orchards, like apple and pear orchards and stuff. But like you just said, their insect eating was fairly limited. And since then, they've kind of exploded, and they cover all of North America, and South America, and parts of Australia, and parts of Africa. And, I mean, in fairness, it's kind of, some people in the city wouldn't have any birds if it wasn't for the house sparrows. So I guess we can't really slam them too much. But, at the parade this week, there'll be plenty to clean up after this parade and Southie goes through.
We can still slam them if we want to, I think. All right, Mike. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you at the parade, Ray.
See you at the parade and talk to you next week. It's worldsparrowday.org, by the way. And now back to the Mystery Bird Contest. Sorry about playing this sound again here, but we'll just play it. There it is. 781-837-4900. I say 781-837-4900 is the number. And Tom is in somewhere in the great state of Illinois. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Ray. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Where in Illinois, if you would like to say?
It's Skokie, Illinois. It's about maybe 15, 20 minutes outside of Chicago, going north.
All right, Skokie, Illinois. Well, you heard the clues there, and you heard that lovely sound of our mystery bird, Tom, and you say it is what?
The Clark's Nutcracker.
Clark's Nutcracker sounds good to me. Absolutely right. What an amazing bird. This bird can remember.
I was out west.
You and I can't remember where we left our keys, Tom. Well, I shouldn't speak for you, but I can speak for myself about that. But these birds can remember hundreds or maybe thousands of seeds that they bury in the next season, and coming and get them for winter feeding. Pretty.
That's amazing. Given the corvid family.
That's right. Part of the corvid family with crows and ravens and jackdaws and magpies. And
I think people underestimate the bird's capacity in terms of what they can do.
We're learning more about that all the time, about how intelligent birds really are. Hey, Tom, we have time for a bonus question if you'd like to try.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
And again, this is not a direct bird question, but, it's a conservation question, so that's kind of what we're about here. So it's a multiple choice. Some time ago, United Airlines started doing something that caused a very small reduction in weight on their planes, but that nonetheless resulted in a savings in fuel costs by burning less fuel, of course. How did they achieve this very small but important weight reduction? Was it A, by using lighter paint on the exterior of the planes? B, by using lighter weight carpeting inside the planes? C, by printing their in-flight magazine on lighter paper? Or D, by providing passengers with only 6 peanuts instead of 8? Those would be your choice.
Definitely not D.
Not D. Okay. No, you still get 8 peanuts, I think. I think they're sticking with that. So
paint it can't be, because no matter how you apply it, it's going to be hard to get a layer coat.
Yeah.
So it's not D.
Mm-hmm. You're doing a good process of elimination here. I like this.
So B or C, a lighter paper. And then you said carpeting.
Carpeting, yeah. What do you think? One of those two?
It was a toss-up, because the thing is...
Okay. What's your guess, Tom?
I'd probably go with... I'd probably go with the...
Come on, Tom.
Okay, I'll go with paper.
Going with the paper. Good job going with the paper. That's right. Almost seems like the most unlikely answer, but it was right. Hey, nice job, Tom. Good job. Lighter paper. Tom, stay on the line. We'll get all your info and send you those nice prizes.
Yeah, Ray. Have a good one.
You too, Tom. Tom there in Skokie, Illinois. And that mystery bird, by the way, in case you missed it, was the Clark's Nutcracker. Next week, we'll learn about short-eared owls and salt marsh sparrows with superstar birder Sean Riley. Sean Riley is our special guest. And thanks for being with us. See you next week.
The Bird Show. I like that.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics. With the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And Beauty Books, an independent, family-owned bookstore carrying one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. Audiobooks.com.